That's one. Okay. So Mallory's going to start us off with a question she had after reading Second Chance.
Yes. Do you think the book is about miracles?
Did you hear?
Yeah, no, I heard you. I have no words in my brain. Let me let me think a minute. Well, I don't know. There are miracles in the book. I know the book was written because Sid didn't think that anybody would believe him if he told the truth. So he thought, well, I'm going to write a fictional novel and bring people to this understanding through that. So, yes, the book has miracles in it, and there have been miracles with this understanding. I don't know if the book is about miracles though. So, I mean, I'm not sure that gets at your question, Mallory, but
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to say
No,
one
you
thing.
did.
One thing I want to say about that, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Mallory, but that's so interesting that you just said, Alan, that Sid knew he couldn't tell the truth because people wouldn't believe him.
yeah,
What
that was my understanding of one of the reasons that he wrote Second Chance. He thought it would be another vehicle because, when he just told what he saw, a very small percentage of the people that heard him uh, uh, even understood what he was trying to say. So that's what I understand.
what was the truth that people wouldn't believe? What do you think the truth was that people would have a hard time believing?
But we're making it all up.
That we're making it all up.
Yeah. Bottom line, we're making it all up.
We're making everything up.
Making everything up.
Yeah, I just felt like the part about the spontaneous healing was a miracle. But then, could it have been just his whole thinking that he even got to that point because of his thinking? And when he changed his thinking, everything changed.
Well, very much one of the books that I had read prior to this discussion had talked a lot about some sickness and other things that are wrong with us are very often a result of stress and just negative energy that we hold on to for whatever reason, or it's a physical manifestation of emotional unwell being sometimes.
Yes, the way I look at that, I've had conversations about this mind-body connection and healing in the past, and the way I look at it, and I talked a little bit about this in Perfect Misfortune, right? So yes, that's true, and sometimes our bodies have enough intelligence to heal us, and sometimes they don't. But what we can do is give them the best environment to use that intelligence that we can. And of course, that's, less stress, a better food, better nutrients, which reminds me, I just ate one of those power bars, so I should be buzzing here pretty soon. But yeah, so all that is true. What you say is true, and Bill Pettit, of course, he knows this to the depths of his soul and has the scientific background. MS, which is what I have, right? MS is an inflammatory disease, and I mean, what is, in my mind, what is inflammation except for kind of the freaking out of your body at the cellular level? So
And I mean, from what I've heard, your MS is not at all at the level of other people they have far more symptoms than you do. That's my understanding. I could be off about that.
Well, people have a wide variety, a wide range of impact. Over the last couple of years, my MS has nibbled, is the way I like to say it now. So I used to, up until about 2 or 3 years ago, I used to ski quite a bit, and don't do that as much anymore because my lower legs are weak. So see, what I know is that my body is trying to heal, trying to heal, trying to heal. And eventually we're all going to die, right? Eventually we're all going to die, and we're going to die from something. So I give myself the best environment to heal, and that doesn't mean that I'm filled with joy, or happiness all the time. That's not what it means. But I did hear something recently. I have a client that is reading a book that strikes me as really interesting, and the book is about finding awe in your life, AWE, awe.
Interesting.
And a lot of times I hear people say, well, you got to find joy, you got to find happiness, find the joy in your life, find the gratitude, find these positive feelings, which is true. They're healing. And there's something about awe that feels so real to me. I mean, when I look outside right now, I mean, I can find awe for the nature outside my window. And to me, and this is just me, of course, because we're making it all up, awe has legs, and awe is a healing feeling filled with discovery and soul. And anyway, so that's just on my mind because this client mentioned it yesterday, and I love awe. I mean, awe is cool. If you think of the things in your life that you feel awe about.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah. Hi, Erica. I see you
Hello.
trying to connect with us. You're a little frozen up, but yeah, nice to see you. Erica's from Connecticut also. So we were just talking, I'll just catch Erica
Okay.
up a little bit. We were talking about, we started off talking about Second Chance. Did you read that book yet? Sid's book, the first book he wrote, Second Chance, yeah?
Uh-uh.
Not
No.
yet. So in that book, there's like miracles happen. And Mallory was asking if that's part of what Sid's discovery brought for people. And I'd say that what I've seen as far as people's relationships changing, people's state of mind, to me, those are miracles. I mean, I feel like I'm a miracle, like from how down and out I was compared to when Sid's words began to really hit me. And then incrementally, how much better I have felt. Not by doing anything different, not by doing anything different, just from seeing that we're making it all up. To use Alan's words when we first started out, we're making it all up.
And I think what's true too is that it's true that we're making it all up, but it's more, in my mind, it's all being made up through me. It's all being made up through us.
Yeah.
That's a different feeling. That has more awe in it.
Yes. And we're not purposely giving ourselves a hard time.
Yeah.
You know what I heard the other day, Ellen, and all of you? And I see Erica and Angel are standing on their heads.
They must be a south.
They're weightless right now, upside down.
It must be Australia.
It's so funny. But and frozen upside down. So yeah, I love this awe, looking at life with awe, because that immediately drops me into a better state of mind.
Yeah, me
You know,
too.
that I get to experience this amazing place.
So what I was reading, I forget which book it was. I want to say it was Eye of the Eye, or maybe it might have been Power versus Force. And he basically referred to that feeling of awe as presence. And that's the time when, you know, you're actually, your mind is quiet and you're not thinking about anything, and you're just, you know, experiencing life and the world and your connections to it. And that's so awe is really true, like the true state of happiness and oneness with everything else. And that's the way that we're supposed to be all the time. We just, our mind gets in the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, awe takes me out of myself. You know, we have 4 or 5 fawns that hang around the house now with their moms and stuff, and when I spend time with them, and you know, they eat out of a bucket that we have that I can hold in my hand, and when those 2 little fawns and their mom are eating out of this little bucket, and I'm watching them, and I can pet the mom with my hand, you know, I'm filled with the deepest awe. And you can say, well, you feel peace, you feel joy, you feel happiness. Yes, but I feel awe at that time. So
Yeah.
yeah, anyway,
Awesome, Alan.
awesome.
That's really awesome.
Just some thoughts today.
Can we come over? That sounds great.
Wow. Like you have a petting zoo in your backyard. That's amazing.
I do. Yeah, we had 13 deer here the other day, and about 5 of them will eat out of a bucket that you hold in your hand. And so every morning and every evening, I enjoy this experience of walking outside and seeing their big brown eyes staring at me, and then following me into the well house, which is where we keep the grain, and then eating all out of this bucket that I'm holding and allowing me to pet them. Anyway, so that's just a quick example of awe. It doesn't have to be that big though, you know. I think we can feel awe for very ordinary things, and maybe that's the ultimate awe, is to open to that feeling in the ordinary. You know? You know, as we're making it all up, to feel awed by that experience.
I'll just exit out of that.
Yeah.
Boy, I got words in my head today, Lori.
What words do you have in your
Well,
head?
words. I mean, the words that, you know, words.
No words.
No, I've got words. I've got words in there. Sometimes I have no words. Today I have words.
Well, you know what else we were talking to before you got on, Alan, about relationships, right? Like, what if you had any words of advice?
Oh, that's a heavy burden here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Words of advice about relationships.
Yeah.
Relate-
What have you learned? What have you learned?
I've learned to shut up a lot. I have.
Say more, please say more. That's good. I
I've
love
learned to shut up a lot. I've learned to not let my insecurities drive my behavior as much as I used to. I've learned to avoid the rabbit holes as best as I can. And sometimes you trip and you fall into a rabbit hole, you know. So.
And then you forgive yourself. You do one of these.
Thank
Right?
you for, this is the way I describe. I wind up doing a lot of this, either hopefully before, but oftentimes after the event. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, the advice is to just be careful of insecurity. You know,
Yeah,
just be careful.
yeah. Be careful of insecurity.
Mm.
Yeah. 'Cause
So,
go ahead, Mallory. Yeah.
oh, sorry. It was kind of going to be changing the subject. So go ahead if you were going to say something.
No, it's okay.
So yeah, you had just told me about the book Perfect Misfortune. So could you tell us a little bit about it? And maybe I was wondering if you would have any insight on how to help a family member who has a chronic degenerative illness
Mhm.
and is very depressed about it. And just because she's older, she has Parkinson's, my grandmother, and she, now it's just getting harder and harder to get up. She fell and that was a setback, and then she built herself back to almost where she was, but she's just, the symptoms keep coming, like, and you know how it is with Parkinson's. It's degenerative, and it seems like it's just really difficult for her mentally. And I was wondering if you have any insight on that or advice.
Well, what we know is that her body is doing the best it can to heal, given her state of mind. We know that's true. And we also know that you can't give love away, but you can be a person that tends to draw love out of other people, I think. That's been my experience. You can be peaceful and quiet and relatively happy inside. You can not add to other people's suffering. And when I look at someone or an animal that's suffering, it's really hard not to suffer myself. And I know that doesn't serve anybody. Doesn't mean I don't suffer, but it means I suffer with perspective. I suffer with the knowledge that I am making that up. And what that does is it allows me to see more clearly, maybe what they need, and to be more present for them. Um, yeah, what one client I have, they live in New York, and their life is really constricted, and all we do is talk. I may have an idea, they may have an idea, but all we do is talk. And the idea is that even though their life is hard, they have a number of chronic health issues that are serious, that their wisdom and resilience will rise to the surface at some point in time. It might take hours, but as long as I can stay centered and quiet and not be caught up in their suffering, that's more likely to happen.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
yeah, that's what occurs to me.
Yeah, good questions. Really good
Yeah.
questions.
It's hard to not want to just, automatically go to fixing mode
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
or try to make it seem like, well, here are the good, like point out the good things, because that almost negates what they're going through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't, I've given up trying to change this client, absolutely given up entirely. But she changes. And it might not be due to me, I'll make a suggestion and then she'll go through her week, and one of her friends will make the same suggestion and she'll think it was a good idea. No. So I don't take anything personally anymore. Suggesting good things Nothing wrong with that. Who knows when one might connect?
Yeah,
You never know.
that's true.
So, yeah, just don't, as Sid would say, don't get caught up in your own or their feelings. Don't get caught up in those.
Like the need to fix, we can so easily fall into thinking that we can help someone or fix someone or change someone, and that you just want to be with that person,
Yeah.
right? Just be with them with love, compassion, and understanding.
Ooh, major relationship advice. Don't try to fix it. Just listen.
Just listen. Don't try to fix it, just listen. Yeah. Listen without our own cacophony of interpretation.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that is that fix it piece comes from being from insecure thinking, wanting becoming involved in their suffering and suffering yourself and trying to,
Expectation.
yeah. So I mean, not to say that I don't continually try to fix it, but I've learned to shut up quicker. You know, it's like the words start coming out, and I just kind of go, okay. There you go. It's all right.
I learned this brilliant statement from a 13-year-old client I had a few years back. He would say, zip it, lock it, and put it in your pocket.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Out of the mouths of babes, right?
Yeah.
So funny.
So what do you guys?
On that note,
do?
I have to step out. It
Oh,
was
okay.
nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm glad that you
Me
could
too,
join
yeah.
us for a bit, Jeremy.
Yeah,
Have a
thanks,
good
Jeremy.
rest of day at work.
Oh, thanks, Larry.
Jeremy's got to go back to work. Take care.
So Mallory, what do you think of this whole thing?
In a nutshell, it's really easier said than done. I mean, I know, like I feel like I'm absorbing everything, but to put it into practice is a completely different story. But I'm working on it and hoping that, little by little, it'll get easier or more natural.
Well, I have a quick question here. I sometimes ask people this. What insight do you think you need to have in order to really take this whole thing to heart?
Interesting question, Alan.
I think it's
Yeah.
just
I ask myself that as well.
the ability to be fully conscious all of the time, despite what's going on or what difficulties might come up, without all the noise, to just be able to go back to that, because there's always, I think on a great day it's easy, but when things come up, it's not so easy. So, I mean, that's a hard question. I don't know exactly what the answer would be.
Yeah, I don't know. The insights that have served me are, it's not about me. The insights are that it is creating a reality through me. That it's possible to be more safe and whole and healed than I can possibly imagine. That was my experience when I met Sid. First in the first 10 minutes.
Wow.
And those the memory of those insights and the reality of those insights continue to guide me, I guess, is a word.
Yeah. You know what I've been seeing lately? What do you think of this, Ellen? A lot of my clients, and I know you see clients too, they first seem to go in the direction of doing, because the world is very set up. The paradigm has been to change behaviors, to do something different in order to get a different result. But to me, it's about seeing. It's not about doing. It's about seeing how life unfolds through us. I think seeing is at a whole different level than the doing. It kind of follows seeing. So if I have a fresh insight and something comes out of my blind spot about, well, that's interesting. Maybe I am more passive aggressive than I think, if somebody points out something to me and I reflect on it and I realize, well, I don't go about being less passive aggressive with that person. I see it, and the result is I'm less passive aggressive or whatever it is. Does that make sense? Like my
Yeah, that was a
behavior
great-
changes. What, Mallory?
That was a great way to explain it.
Yeah.
But yes, that makes perfect sense.
Good.
And that could go with anything,
Yeah.
Yeah.
With anything and everything. Exactly. When we see it, the behavior automatically shifts.
That webinar by George Pransky, I don't know if you've seen it, Mallory, but this guy was a person that met Sid, did some training decades and decades ago, and he had a stroke and he had other issues. And it's a webinar just talking with George Pransky about his life now since his challenges. And what struck me about this man is how real he is with his situation now because of his understanding of what Sid was saying. So, highly recommend this webinar. I think it's on the Mystery School site, right? So that webinar really touched me deeply because it's real. It's real. Many of us have disabilities and conditions that are difficult to deal with and challenging. Not like George when he's talking about his issues and health challenges.
Oh, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Is that on 3PGC, Alan?
Is it? Well, maybe I thought I saw a link on your site.
Or maybe somebody posted it. It's brand new.
Well, I watched it about, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, something like that.
Oh,
And it's oh, I know where it is. It's on the HANA site,
Hana site.
TMS.
Oh, great. If you're on there, would you copy the URL and
Yeah. Oh, sure.
post it on Mystery School? That would be wonderful. Yeah. Because I got a full several days. I'm going to have my first vacation in a long time
Oh,
from Thursday to Sunday.
Okay.
the concept.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I think the sense and the feeling of being guided is a big part of this.
Oh, nice.
No, it's bigger than life. Life is bigger than me.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
the universal mind, intelligence, God is expressing through me. And it's something that my wee little mind can actually access through wisdom and common sense.
Wow.
You know,
Great. Great, great, great. Yeah, I have a client who had 3 strokes
Hmm.
in recent years, so that'll be a wonderful webinar for him. Wonderful
Oh.
video.
Yeah, yeah.
I was watching George, I think I watched 3 out of the 10 talking about what he learned, or the white paper of what Sid brought to the world. 10 different, did you watch that?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And that's an example of what somebody can create when they're relatively healthy. And to me, that was beautiful. And this webinar of George, sometimes struggling with words, being very slow and warm and humble, is more powerful
Yeah.
than that.
Yeah. I found the same thing. I was like amazed. Somebody with such a dramatic, it was a dramatic stroke. I mean, he had to learn everything again, really, from my understanding. Because I heard his wife Linda talk about what he went through, what they went through. And to hear these pearls of wisdom coming out, that, that's beyond brain activity.
I've heard that when there's a major health crisis, sometimes a lot of people it will be an awakening and a change in them personally, because when something that life-changing happens, you don't have time to dwell on all the things that was going on before, or you're just focused on healing. So
Yeah, I think George had either a quadruple or quintuple bypass,
Yeah.
and he said the surgery was coming up, and so he understood that the stroke was out of the clear blue sky. He wasn't expecting that. So that is a good example of that, Mallory, I think, where all of a sudden that happened. He was afraid of not being able to do his work anymore, teach seminars. And he talks about the hope that he's found. And
Wow.
obviously he's still doing the work, I mean, he's doing the work at a very deep level, I think.
Yeah. Deeper than ever.
Deeper than ever, I think, yeah.
wow.
Something you would think would be a detriment to wind up being adding power. That's fascinating. Talk about awe. We're back to awe. Boy, that's
Yeah.
awe-inspiring.
That's what I felt watching that webinar, was awe. It wasn't the awe of seeing the Milky Way, it was the awe of seeing a man talking from a very deep place in a humble. In fact, it reminded me, now that I think about it, it reminded me of the way I felt listening to Sid when I first met him. The same kind of feeling, not the same content, but the same kind of feeling.
Yeah. Wow. I can't wait to see this now. That's great.
Well, I would enjoy your comments too, because everybody's different. We all
Yeah.
I have a client who's a high-powered, achievement-oriented person, right? So for her, watching George is really hard.
Painful.
It's painful because it's so slow. It doesn't go fast enough for her quick little mind,
And so does she try to speed it up? There's something on
that's
YouTube
right.
where you can speed it.
Right. That's a great idea. This 1.5 times normal speed. Maybe his voice will get higher too. That would be
I mean, oh my gosh, it's so funny. Even before his stroke, he was slow with the delivery. But what George, his metaphors were so wonderful that
Mhm.
his ahs and ums didn't bother me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's the
Eckhart
feeling.
Tolle
It's
is
the
the same
feeling.
way.
What, Mallory?
It's just funny that you mentioned the slow speaking, because I listened to a lot of Eckhart Tolle's podcasts, and he's the same way, very slow in speech. But it's calming in a way
Oh,
Yeah.
you
to me. That's how I feel anyway.
Yeah.
did.
Hmm.
So what else do we want to say? What else do we want to talk about? So
Hmm.
great that you read Second Chance.
Yeah,
People recommend reading it more than once.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the
It's-
hope in Second Chance is wonderful.
Mhm.
I remember I read it, I think, I think before my diagnosis and then afterwards, and really I felt very comforted by Second Chance.
Hmm. Yeah, Mom. I think my favorite is the part about Mama Leela and all of the wisdom that she talks about. But can you give me like some, I don't know. I mean, I think I do need to read it again because I can see that there's so much of a deeper level besides just the surface that when I do read it a second time, I'll get more out of it.
Yeah, I think that the hope that I or you or anybody feels when they read Second Chance or listen to Sid's tapes or read other books of his, that is healing. As soon as I put words on that hope, it takes it away from what I think is the power of
Mm,
healing. There's something about the hope, the feeling of hope itself that is healing. And because I'm such a head guy, right? I try to put words on it. Well, hope for what? Hope. What does that mean? How do the principles relate to hope? What is hope? And that takes away from the healing power of it, I think. So if you can find hope in that book, that's great. You know,
yeah. What do you think Sid's goal was in writing the book?
to be,
Do you think it was hope? I would say to have hope.
I think you wanted to share. You wanted to share truth. T, capital T. You wanted to share truth.
Well, how would you describe capital T truth, Alan?
My little conceptual mind loves that, but but my soul has a harder time with it. um,
To me, the truth that Sid spoke of to me is about that we're spiritual, that the spiritual is the direction to look in before the formation of thought. Now, how easy is that? I mean, it's not easy when you're living in a world where you have to use your ability to think to open a door, to start the car, to do anything on this plane. We're constantly using this amazing ability to think. But then we overuse the ability to think, interjecting things everywhere from insecurity.
that's why I enjoy awe.
Right. It's beyond thought. Right.
Yeah, it happens so fast, and you can lock it down. You can try to repeat the event. You can do all kinds of things, but the experience of awe is in my mind almost a no thought experience, if there is such a thing. No thought. Just I mean it's a feeling, so it's, of course, it comes from thought and consciousness and mind, but it's so pure and deep and innocent
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say
Like-
like total contentment in that moment too.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great way to describe it, right? We're content
Intent.
with what is. We're not telling ourselves or other people to change what is. It's not like you're in this moment of awe, Ellen, feeding the fawns. Your mind isn't on you said 5 out of the 9 of them or something like that. Your mind isn't on, why aren't the 4 coming up? That would kind of, that would
Yeah.
destroy the moment of awe, right?
That's funny.
Yeah, and it can even be in a moment that's not necessarily calm. So this is really weird, but my dog is obsessed with bubbles. So like he catches them in his mouth, and it's gotten to the point where I blow bubbles, not for my 3-year-old, for the dog. And just about every day, if it's nice out, I will sit there and blow bubbles, and he's just going crazy. But in that moment, I do feel awe because I just feel, I don't know if it's with something about the breathing too, it forces you to kind of like calm down and take a deep breath. But yeah, just appreciating like the beauty of nature and the way the bubbles look. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. You appreciated the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Being outside is big for that too. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sid so often said, look for a beautiful feeling. I mean, to me, that's that beautiful feeling.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it's something stupid too, but like it doesn't have to be like this amazing, we're going to see the sunset, like
Yeah.
doesn't have to be something huge, like you said.
Yeah.
So
Azul. Yay. Hi. She doesn't hear yet. You could see connecting. Yeah. So how are we going to catch Azul up? We said so much in the last half hour, right?
Yeah.
Ah, good stuff. Really good stuff.
yeah. You said she does your computer work? Or
Oh
your
yeah, Azul
Yeah.
does more than that.
Oh wow. Yeah.
She helps Mavis Karn also, and Mavis says she's the project manager. So we have a
Oh,
new.
okay. So she
She's
did
the
like your-
virtual assistant project manager. She's
Oh,
one
okay,
of these
wow.
people who, way beyond my skill level.
Yeah.
And
Just
I'm
like a
in
lesson
awe.
from her.
I am in awe of that. I am in awe.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 That's beautiful word, Alan. I'm so glad that you brought that word to us.
I think the word that occurs to me when you said that about Mavis is wonder.
Wonder.
Wonder. Wonder is a part of awe for me.
Yeah.
Wonder. And
Wonder, curiosity. Yeah.
curiosity, wonder, discovery.
Discovery,
Um,
interest,
Mm.
fascination, like getting ourselves out of the way and
Innocent.
seeing what is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when I'm open to life, I experience different degrees of awe. Then, if I'm open up, much of my life is grant writing, like I've talked about, right? So I'm very, very focused, very intent on specific words and phrases and ideas, and I don't experience a, a lot of awe in that process. I do experience discovery and satisfaction and fulfillment. But I'm wondering if there might be room in that job for awe someplace. I'm not sure. I'm going to reflect on that to see if that might be there, because that would be wonderful to be able to find awe in the work that you do.
Mm.
What do you mean by the work that you do?
Oh, like grant writing, for
Oh,
example.
grant writing, yeah.
Yeah, I feel little nibbits of awe and wonder sometimes when I get an idea out of the clear blue sky, a good idea. They don't happen frequently, but when they do, I'm slightly awed by that process. I'm not awed by my ability to do that. I'm awed by that manifestation of a new idea,
Yes,
you know?
yes,
Yeah. I see what you
yeah,
mean.
yeah. That is so true. Hi, Azul. We're talking about so much. It's good to have you with us. And I recorded it, so it'll.
Yeah. Well, I have
I
to.
know that
I'll
I'm
have
very
to watch
late to the party, so sorry.
What's that?
I know that
Oh,
I'm very
sorry.
late to be here, so sorry for that.
Oh,
But
no
I wanted to be
problem.
here.
Yeah, yeah. No
Mm.
problem at all.
Well, I'm sorry. I have to go pick up my son, but Alan, it was nice to meet you.
Yeah,
And
Mallory, so
Azul
much
too.
fun.
Yes.
Good luck
Yeah.
with that. Good luck with that consciousness insight. you know?
Thank you. I will definitely have to check out that webinar you spoke about too.
Oh, I'd love to hear too, post it on the Mystery School site if you watched George's webinar and are touched by it or what occurs to you. So
Okay.
I would very much
Okay.
enjoy what other people think as well. So
Okay. All right.
Thanks, Mallory.
meet
Great
you.
seeing you.
Bye-bye.
You too.
See you next week, I hope.
See you next week. Yes.
Good.
I'll be in
Okay.
touch. Enjoy your vacation.
Thank
So,
you.
Your little
Yeah.
vacation.
Bye. Yeah, that was really great. Mallory started out as well, wondering about second chance because she had just finished the book for the first time. Seems like she's hearing some things, huh? That's what, and then we went from there to awe, talking about being in a state of awe. And I know that both of you find that when we're with our clients, right? I mean, that happens quite a lot, being in a state of awe. But Alan, you're talking about writing a grant. I don't know how that would go, being in a state of awe while writing a grant proposal. Would be a little trickier, but sometimes it happens.
Well, it happens, like I said, with the idea that comes out of the clear blue, whether it's from me or other people that are maybe part of the team working on the grant.
Yeah.
So new ideas and new thinking bring awe with them. I mean, I'm awed by that because a lot of what I do is rote. It's rote to do this, you do that, you step one, step two, step three. You got to focus on line 33 on page 65 to make sure that the grant is still possible, stuff like that. It's very detailed. And so to get a new idea out of the universe feels really wonderful.
Yeah. It's that new idea, fresh thinking.
Fresh thinking.
That's awesome.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
So Azul, so you work with Lori then, Azul?
Yes. Yes,
Should we
I
stop
have.
recording, by the way?
Yeah.
We
let's
can
do
stop recording. Okay, let me do that. Except it's not stopping. Let's see. I hit the stop record. Oh, there we go. Are you sure you want to stop recording? Yes.
It still says,